for you to get a time for you to get a watch. Hey everyone, welcome to the Brothers Game Podcast, where I have a timer going, and I'm Nikolai. This is a good intro. Continue.
Yeah, okay.
And who are you?
I'm Brian.
The other host.
Yeah.
And we're
the Brothers
the
Game.
Brothers Game Podcast.
Yeah.
Welcome. It's me, Nikolai.
And me, Brian. As usual.
To the Brothers Game Podcast. I got my water. I'm ready to go. And as previously mentioned, I started a timer.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no way this episode could go poorly.
Right. Of course.
You're supposed to vamp while I drink water.
Well, that didn't happen. So
What did you not listen at all in podcast school?
no, I failed podcast school.
Man.
I dropped out.
Ah, jeez. Literally every white person is like forced to go there, so that's surprising.
Oh, I missed the memo. Actually, I had to go to speech therapy when I was a kid.
You did?
At one point, yeah.
It's true.
Which you don't remember because you weren't alive yet.
No,
But
no. I was there.
it's where I learned how to use my inside voice.
Your inside voice. Yeah, you talk loud.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what
You got a boomer.
I don't talk loud.
You're the
at
boomer
all.
voice, but you're not a boomer. So
I'm kind of a boomer.
almost.
I'm very much a '90s kid, which '90s kids are being called boomers now.
Yeah,
So.
and we're both millennials, correct?
Yes.
But
You're at the
only
tail end of millennial,
technically. I'm like,
and I'm near
as
the
young a
beginning of
millennial could
millennial, but
possibly
not
be.
quite.
I was
there.
96, so it's the
'Cause
very
89.
edge.
So I'm definitely a '90s kid, but of course, like every other decade, the '90s spilled over a little into the early
Yeah.
2000s.
plus I had older siblings, so really
Yeah.
I grew up with all 90s stuff.
Yeah.
Still
Like stuff from 2001 is totally still 90s
very
stuff.
90s.
Yeah.
Yep, importance.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of 90s,
Mm-hmm.
the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pass or expansion pack came out just a couple days ago.
Yes.
As of recording this, and boy, do people love it.
Mm-hmm.
That was sarcasm. And it's been the worst launch of a new Nintendo thing in a long time, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard anything about this?
No.
Okay. So basically it started when they released the price because it is a bit expensive.
Yeah.
It is $50 a year
Right.
for the pass.
Which is what Xbox Live originally
Yeah.
cost. Yeah.
So it's $30 more, and basically you get N64, Sega Genesis games, and you get the Animal Crossing DLC for free when it comes out in like a week from now. So it's not. It's a bit expensive. I was expecting $20 more. That's what I was hoping for.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's more than double the price. So a bit much. I don't think people are like, that is insane. It's not insane, but it is a bit much.
Yeah.
A lot of people were like, this should have been $5 extra. And I'm like, you're an absolute idiot if you thought for a second it was going to be only $5 more.
Yeah.
I would have thought $10 more would have been really nice. And I would have bought it instantly without even a second thought. $20 more is what I realistically expected. $30 more was a bit much, I thought.
Yeah.
I have not bought it yet, mostly because I already have online,
Yeah.
the regular online, my renewal is in like the middle of the month, so it's only been a couple months since I got it, renewed it, and so but it would still cost like $38 when I checked to upgrade it, so it's like too much more when I already have over half a year left in the regular one.
Right.
So I'm at least waiting until like Paper Mario comes out and stuff. But the other big thing people are mad about are the games themselves are not running good at all.
Oh, wow.
Really badly. I've seen videos of input lag being really bad. Like people playing Mario 64 and like testing the A button, and it's a visually noticeable
Oh,
input
wow.
lag.
Yikes.
which makes platformers impossible. There's missing textures in like Ocarina of Time. They failed to emulate the memory card pack from the controller in certain games. So when you play Mario Kart 64, you can't save your ghost trials, your time trials ghosts, because you need the memory pack to do that. And it says it's not plugged in, basically. So that's just a few of the numerous things going wrong with it. So I'm happy to not have it yet. I'm just going to wait till like Paper Mario comes out, and hopefully by then they've fixed some things with it too. Good news, though, is that the N64 controller that was released with it, there's been no complaints about that.
Oh, that's
that
good.
Apparently is great, and I was able to snag one. I missed the initial release, but when they last restocked it, I got one. So that'll be here soon. So yeah, that's what's been going on in Nintendo. People are mad at Nintendo, which is shocking.
Shocking, yeah.
That never happens. So
Speaking of new releases and stuff, and
yeah,
so Age of Empires 4 coming tomorrow. So I pre-ordered that today, which also included yet another expansion for Age of Empires 2. So I have 2 new campaigns to play through.
Jeez.
So for the last few days, I've been
game.
playing through the 3 campaigns they added with the Lords of the West expansion, which included the Burgundians and the Sicilians, and then also gave you the English side of the Scottish campaign that you play through as the tutorial campaign.
That's cool.
Where you play as the English. And so the campaigns are pretty easy, especially the more recent ones. The very early campaigns are actually pretty hard, but the more recent ones have been pretty easy. So I can kind of play the game the way I really like to, which is very slow, exploring a lot, very slowly building up my base, and then getting way more resources than necessary, and then just fielding a big army and just plowing down my enemy and completely destroying them, not just achieving
just ending the game period.
The campaign goals.
Nice.
That's been fun.
That's neato.
Yeah, the Sicilians and Burgundians, they were interesting. I think most of my favorite civs to play are still the ones from the original game, from the original Age of Kings. Mongolians, the French, the English. Those tend to be my favorites. The French. They're just one of the best cavalry civs.
Nice.
Oh yeah. So we were talking about when we were talking about 90s stuff. So I've been thinking about this for a while. Like any kids you and I have eventually,
oh yeah,
their NES in my case, or their Super NES in your case, is going to be the PS5 and the Xbox Series X respectively, because NES debuted in North America in 85, so 4 years before I was born. And then the SNES roughly 5 years after that. I forget if it was 91, 92, 90, somewhere around there. Which is 5 or 6 years before you were born.
So,
and the Switch will be
scary.
Much older.
Really old. That'll be the Atari.
Yeah. Basically, or the ColecoVision, or
that's pretty insane.
What have you? Yeah,
and like
it's weird to think
considering
about.
That now, I don't know if it's official yet, but it's within a year or so. The 360 will be officially retro.
Yeah, which is bizarre to think about, but also like
it's crazy.
That was when I graduated high school.
It's like and
that kind of feels like forever ago, but still, that's just crazy to me.
I remember when the Game Boy Advance and Advance SP first was labeled retro and obsolete, and I was like, I'm getting old.
Yeah,
because that seems newish to me still.
Do you know? I think
it's
I believe I read that the original Famicom was in production until 2003.
Yes, in Japan, yeah. Yeah,
which is insane.
Japan made consoles way longer than they kept them in America.
Yeah.
That's why in Japan you can get retro consoles, sometimes new, that are not very expensive.
Imagine like
they just made so many
brand new, made in like 2002 Famicom.
That'd be awesome. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's really cool, actually.
Yeah.
That you can just get old consoles there for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
2002.
wild.
That's pretty close to when I got my N64.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. As you know, I've been doing Pokemon cards a lot.
Yeah.
And they just released basically a big anniversary set. In Japan, it's just I think it's just called 25th anniversary. Mm-hmm. But in America, it's called Celebrations.
Right.
And that's been fun to try to get. as all Pokemon cards are very difficult to get. I feel like especially in our area, in the Midwest, it seems like they get it way more often, more frequently. Mm-hmm. But here, even despite it being super popular, selling out instantly, they just don't get a lot of stock. So that's difficult. But I'm collecting a lot of it, and it's fun. It's got reprints of old cards, and I showed you my Blastoise, right?
Yeah, no, there are some cool cards in this set for sure.
So like it's a remake of the base set Blastoise, and it's got like a texture on the entire card, and it's just like they're high quality printing, which is really nice. It doesn't feel like rushed or anything. It definitely feels special and anniversary like. So cool. Anyway, that's been really exciting. I'm still hunting down the mini tins. Mm-hmm. They have mini tins that are there's 8 different ones, each with the sets of starters on them. Mm-hmm. And I've only been able to find 1 out of the 8 still.
Oh, wow.
So that's my current hunting thing. But yeah, it's fun though. Anyway, what else have you been doing?
Well, so I wanted to try some more like challenging, difficult ROM hacks for Pokemon because
all right, we were talking about ROM hacks of Pokemon.
Yeah.
Off podcast.
And I've played a couple because you know how often I say that Pokemon is a really easy game, and I've tried like Nuzlocke. I've tried playing through it with crappy teams. It's still an easy game, and
especially modern Pokemon.
And well, yeah, but also there's this idea that the old games were way harder, and it's like it's not so much that they were harder; it's that there were a lot less quality of life improvements. So it was just more annoying.
Yeah.
But as far as actual difficulty, even the old games are not hard.
Mm-hmm.
But so a lot of other people agree and have made ROM hacks of them that are much more difficult.
Yeah.
I played one.
There's quite a few.
I played through one time that I'm actually now just started playing through again. Pokemon Red DX DX. Mm-hmm. No, I have played Pokemon Blue DX, but this is Pokemon Red Plus Plus. That's what it's called. Anyway, plus, plus. By Mateo.
Very Japanese. Plus plus.
Yeah. And it's got like Gen 2 graphics, and it's got bug fixes,
so better sprites at least.
Yeah, bug fixes, quality of life improvements, new Pokemon from Gens 2 and 3. Lots of mostly focused on.
So did they demake the sprites for Gen 3 Pokemon, or is it the Gen 3 sprites?
That's a good question because they're clearly like Game Boy Color sprites.
Or did they like
not
make custom sprites for them?
I don't know.
That'd be awesome.
I'd have to look it up.
To fit the style, that'd be really cool.
But yeah.
I like that.
Because Zigzagoon is Gen 3, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, and I've seen him in the game, so it's definitely got some Gen 3.
That's cool. I wonder if it's just the Gen 3 sprite, but in, Game Boy Colors, basically, or if it's actually made to look like a Game Boy sprite. Because I've seen pictures online and stuff of like Sword and Shield Pokemon, but in the style of Red and Blue, basically.
Yeah,
which is really cool.
Yeah. So I want to go through that. I have there's a normal mode and a hard mode version of it. So I have the hard mode version.
I think they should add a hard mode to the actual games. I think that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
But even if it just changes levels, basically.
Yeah. So, and a video just showed up randomly in my YouTube recommended that where this guy
It knows you're a nerd.
Yeah. The YouTube knows I'm a Pokemon nerd,
Yes.
apparently. So this guy took,
I wonder how it could possibly know that.
This guy wanted to pit all the NPCs in the game against each other.
Oh, yes.
To see which ones
you started telling
were the
me about
best
this
and stuff. Yeah. So there were like 87,000 battles total.
That's a lot.
So he had a Python script and 2 emulators and 2 ROMs, and he would load them both up at the same time and have them basically go, and he mirrored the logic of the AI in the game using the Python script to make the player do the same things that the AI would do. There's some things you can't really account for because there are actually differences in the player versus NPCs. There's actual differences in like the performance in the game. But so he eliminated as many of those things as he could.
Sure.
Given the limitations.
I'm sure there'd be a lot of bug fixing actually.
Yeah.
To go along with that.
And so every trainer fought every other trainer in the game. So everything from the first battle with your rival with their level 5 starter all the way to the champion fight and everything in between.
Spoilers, the youngster took it. I mean, he just destroyed them all, I'm sure.
Youngster Joey, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. His shorts are unstoppable.
In the Q&A for the video, someone asked, "Where's Youngster Joey?" And he said, "In Gen 2."
It's true. His name is not, they don't have names in Gen 1.
Right. And while the overall trend of, he used the ELO rating system, as well as just a basic win-loss draw. Now, obviously, there's no such thing as a draw in a Pokemon match.
Right.
So he put in some rules for draws. If the game crashed in the middle of a fight, that was a draw.
Yeah, that's a safe draw, I think.
Yeah. And then there was a rule that if neither player did any damage to the other for more than X number of turns, it would call it a draw. And if
interesting, because is it possible for it to get in like a weird loop?
Yep.
Of teleports or string shots or hardens or
the longest fights in the game were always grass types versus each other.
Yeah.
Using poison type moves against each other.
Yeah. Like immune.
Yeah.
Immunities
like,
and they just do it over and over.
Stuff like poison powder against a
and it would have gone for days, I'm sure. Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
Especially because of the number of power points. Also, NPCs have unlimited power points.
Oh. Really?
That's been a thing in Gen 1.
Oh.
Yeah,
I didn't
that's a thing
even know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's part of why some battles can last so long in Gen 1.
Interesting.
So
like a trainer's Metapod has infinite hardens.
Yep.
Okay. Interesting.
They can harden forever.
Did not know that.
The Lance's Dragonite could barrier forever for all of time.
And he will.
And he will. If a match lasted over 1,000 turns without either Pokemon fainting, it would call it a draw.
Yeah. Yep.
And so, predictably, now he did not change the levels of the Pokemon at all. He left the movesets the same.
Okay.
All those things are the same.
So champion and Elite Four
so
won
obviously
everything?
The champion beat almost everybody.
Yeah.
But that was kind of expected.
Yeah, and he has the most Pokemon, too.
Yeah.
So.
The outliers were kind of expected to fall where they fell.
Yeah.
The middle is the interesting part.
Yes, that's true.
Because
really, we want to know, like, between the engineers and the fortune tellers.
And there were a few weird outliers where someone with very low level Pokemon would defeat someone with higher level Pokemon.
Accidentally being competitive.
Strong bias towards psychic type Pokemon.
Yeah, of course.
Sabrina did better than every other gym leader by a long shot, including Giovanni.
Nice.
Yeah. Just because psychic types are so OP.
Yeah. No one stands a chance against Haunter.
Yeah. the worst performing trainer or besides the
Brock,
besides the rival with the level 5 starter, the guy with 1 Magikarp.
Oh, right, of course. And isn't it? Can it only splash? Like I don't think it has
had tackle.
Oh, okay, it does.
I think it might have had tackle.
Nice.
I don't know. I think that's why he didn't do worse than the level 5 rivals battle.
Gotcha.
But yeah,
that's awesome. Those trusty fishermen.
Yeah. And then
I used to. Did I ever tell you that I would go into Pokemon Showdown?
Yes.
As a fisherman with 6 Magikarps.
Didn't you face a lass one time and she was just like
and she
Pokemon?
also was just like had like a Oddish and a Caterpie.
Yeah.
And it was very fun. I literally just would splash and tackle people.
Yeah.
It was they were all shiny, of course, too.
Yeah.
All just gold Magikarps. And in the chat, I would be like, "Oh, just missed it," and say something. Anyway, it was really fun.
That is fun. And also Lorelei did really badly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because she just kept using moves like rest and stuff over and over again. And it was also a very interesting exercise in seeing how the Pokemon AI, the trainer AI works, because there's all these rules in place of like basically every type of move is given a different priority level. Also, more advanced types of trainers like Cool Trainer, Ace Trainer. I mean, Ace Trainer wasn't a thing in Gen 1, but still.
Basically.
Those types of higher-end trainers actually do have additional logic compared to just like Lass and Youngster and stuff. And then gym leaders, too.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Brock, Misty, Surge didn't fare that well. Like, they didn't score any higher, really, than their areas. Like, Misty a little bit higher than where she is
better than Brock and stuff,
but like, yeah,
I would guess Erica didn't do very well either.
No, not particularly. In fact, I think she lost to someone in her gym.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Possibly, I can't remember exactly. Yeah, and then so he did a follow-up video after that because there was a lot of feedback on the original video, both positive and negative, obviously. And he decided to make all the Pokemon level 50 and try it again. And while it was similar, there were a lot of weird outliers where a trainer would do way better than they have any right to, kind of. The trainer that did the worst, basically, of all was the guy with 6 Magikarps.
Nice.
Which, of course,
weird.
And then he actually had so you know how there's code in the game for a Professor Oak fight that just never got put into the final game.
Fight too.
So he included Professor Oak in there because all the data for him and his team is there. And in the first video, Professor Oak did the best, but in the second video, the champion did the best. Interestingly,
nice. So at even odds, the champion still takes
even levels, and so more Pokemon on the team automatically did better.
Yeah,
all of the best trainers had 5 or more Pokemon. So, yeah.
So any particular middles that did well?
Unfortunately, it's been too many days since I've watched the video, and I can't remember anything really. Enough specifics, but the juggler was very interesting. The jugglers from
often have like Magmars.
They often have like Drowsy and Hypno.
Okay.
They have a weird logic where they will just on their second or third turn or whatever, regardless of the situation, they will switch Pokemon.
Oh, interesting.
No matter what is going on,
because they're jugglers.
Yeah. And so that was, I think.
I wonder if they did that on purpose.
I'm like trying to get into the mind of the Japanese game creators, and they're like, "Oh, they're going to surprise the opponent by shuffling their team around," and but it winds up working against them. So jugglers did not perform very well, despite having psychic type Pokemon.
Interesting.
Because when you switch like that, just randomly without purpose, they're basically just giving the opponent a free attack on you. And yeah.
Like any like, what about like the bikers from Cycling Path? Do you remember anything about that?
Yeah, there was nothing
or like
particularly special about them.
They're just sort of in the middle.
A lot of swimmers did very well. Water types did pretty well.
Yeah.
Psychic types did pretty well. The longest fights were still grass type fights between grass type trainers. I think the longest fight in the whole game and the only one to reach the 1,000 turn limit was Erica versus another grass type trainer.
Nice. Just status loop, basically. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. It
was
was
like the only way to make like a really controlled thing is that for them to all have the same Pokemon, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Pokemon
I mean,
versus
if
the
all
same
you're
amount
wanting
of
to do is
Pokemon.
just test the AI,
Purely, yeah.
then yeah, you would just have to just give them all the same Pokemon
And see if, Champion Blue is better than Youngster.
But I think his AI is the same as a gym leader's.
Ah, okay.
I don't remember off the top of my head exactly, but I'm pretty sure it's similar. So, yeah, that's something that if I knew assembly code better, I'd love to be able to make a ROM hack where all I do is just play around with the AI logic, and otherwise leave the game pretty much unchanged and just mess around with the AI logic, try to make it better.
Yeah. As far as like messing with Pokemon, people love just doing that, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
With how many hundreds of ROM hacks there are. I still like randomizers the best.
Yeah.
Just going into a patch of grass and it can be any Pokemon is just so fun.
Yeah.
Just collecting a really weird team very early in the game is just great. I love the idea of that.
And I've watched an interesting video that was just talking about some of the weirder glitches in the game.
There's some weird ones.
Yeah, because like there's the well-known ones that are easy to replicate, and then there are just some weird ones that only happen in super specific situations.
Well, and there's accounts of like unrepeatable glitches, but like they've proven that it did happen once, but just cannot for the life of them recreate the exact things. It's probably the most popular glitchy game.
Yeah.
Like the most well-known and often played.
I mean, it's been around
glitched
long
game.
enough that people have had a lot of time to mess around with glitches and stuff. And you can put in like,
and just that era, I guess, because N64 has an insane amount of glitches too. Ocarina of Time is very glitchy.
I think the guy, he actually used a Game Shark cheat to change the levels of the Pokemon because if he had done it in code, it would have changed so many other things.
Interesting.
Because there's apparently a lot of stuff tied to your Pokemon's level. But yeah, also I guess NPCs don't get EVs. So that was one thing he had to account for, and also like a Pokemon leveling up during a battle and like getting stronger because of that as a result. So and
the level 50 thing, I would have had to turn off XP too.
So he had to find a way to basically turn off the thing that triggers experience gain, essentially, so that Pokemon just basically didn't gain any experience during the fight.
Yeah.
And basically it determines who fought, who participated in the battle, and then awards them EXP based on that. And he basically just said it so that it didn't say any of them were involved in the battle. So the Pokemon that actually fought were treated as Pokemon that were in the team but not part of the fight.
Oh, interesting. So no battle really took place as far as experience is concerned.
Yep.
Nice. Interesting.
Yeah. And the curve totally matches exactly what I have personally experienced in the game, where it goes up and then it flattens as you get to Rock Tunnel, and you get like Cycling Road, the other route to Fuchsia, and Silphco, and they're all everything's about the same level, and so that's where the curve flattens.
It's all easy,
and then it starts going back up again once you get to basically near Sabrina. And yeah, so it was a very interesting experience. Really interesting.
You didn't really talk much about plus plus. I don't really know, and I don't really know much about.
So
that.
I haven't gotten very far through it again, but yeah, it's. I think the focus appears to just have been on improving the game overall without like changing it too much. The looks are all Gen 2, not just the Pokemon sprites, but even the overworld, even like the rooms and your character model all
Does it have day and night cycle?
Probably. I don't remember. And they've introduced new Pokemon. You have a pack with bags in it, like in Gen 2, so different pockets for different types of items.
Much nicer than just the general inventory.
And I think this has actually changed since. So when I last played, I think it was an older revision because it was probably like, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago when I did this. Okay. Originally.
So this is plus.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But because I think in the older version, the inventory was just like kind of artificially expanded. So you just scrolled for longer, but otherwise it was basically the same. Nice. It worked the same. I think they might have fixed critical strikes.
Oh, good.
That's a weird thing in Gen 1, how I believe if
everything
I understand
has a high
correctly,
crit rate.
Yeah.
Right?
If I understand correctly, all moves have an enhanced crit rate the way they would if focus energy was engaged. And then if you actually use focus energy, you decrease the crit rate down to the normal level.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. That seems like a pretty big oversight to just be in the game.
Yeah.
It's like how in Gen 2, all the special Pokeballs that they made such a big deal about do absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And work exactly like a normal Pokeball.
Rate, which is why
blows my mind.
It's probably why I never thought anything about them.
Seriously. It's so crazy to me.
I think it always felt like they didn't really work any better than like Ultra Balls. I'm like, okay, so why not just use Ultra Balls for everything? It's not like you're hurting for money when you get into late game.
So they like really reintroduced those in Sword and Shield. Like all the old balls, the Moon Ball, the Lure Ball, the Love Ball,
and dude,
whatever.
Quick Balls are amazing.
Quick Balls are incredible. Yeah. But like some of the balls, like mostly Gen 2-ish balls, Moon Ball, the like Lure Ball, like I said, there's a few like that. The Heavy Ball is one of them.
Yeah.
They're sort of still gimmick items you only get a couple of. I think they should just go nuts with it.
Yeah.
Like you should be able to buy any type of Pokeball just so you can actually use them more. Because that'd be a lot more fun. If I had 50 of every ball, I would try out a lot more balls and stuff.
You know how Pokemon show up with the ball that you captured them with?
Yeah.
I'd love to be able to change what ball they are stored in once you've caught them. Yeah.
I think that'd be really cool. Which I could see them adding somewhere. So like, like if you go to like the campsite or whatever, like in Sword and Shield, and you could, to like put them back in your inventory, you could like, I'm going to use this ball instead. Yeah. Basically. Just because I think that'd be awesome.
Like make your character really posh and give them have all their Pokemon in luxury balls.
I would have all luxury balls. I love luxury balls. That's a huge thing for me. It's one of my favorite things ever.
Or be like the ace trainer who uses only Ultra Balls.
Yeah. Very like, it would really help with your characterization. Yeah. Definitely. Like I think it was maybe in Sword and Shield, or maybe it was Sun and Moon, where I had all evolutions, and they were all in luxury balls. I was very proud of that. but yeah. Anyway, maybe I know they're adding some Pokeball customization to Shining Diamond, Radiant Pearl. So I don't know. Yeah. Maybe you could do it in that. That'd be awesome. I'm really looking forward to that. That's in just a month now, and I'm pretty excited for that. The more I hear about it, the more I'm into it.
Yeah, it's like I'm I'm finally a little bit excited about some of the new stuff coming out.
I mean,
in the gaming
Pokemon
world.
Arceus looks insanely cool.
Also, in one day, I'll be able to play my pre-downloaded copy of Age of Empires 4, and that's going to be cool.
In 2 days, Mario Party Superstars comes out.
Oh, nice!
And I'm really excited about that. I mean, that's like the dream Mario Party game. So we definitely have to try that out.
Yeah,
because they have Spaceland from Mario Party 2. They got the cake world, the cake one from Mario Party 1. Like, good stuff. That'll be really fun.
So yeah, I'll be giving more updates on my Red playthrough as I get further through it. I'm only in Viridian Forest, so I have not gotten that far.
Just right into it. Let me guess, Squirtle.
Oh, of course.
Shocking.
No, here's
like, how dare you?
How dare you imply that I would ever pick anything else? But no, if I'm playing a challenging version of the game, I want to use my best team. So far, it's Squirtle and Pikachu, and we'll see if I even add anybody else. More than likely, I'm going with a 3-person team to make sure that I get enough levels between them to hit the Elite Four, because I expect them to be much higher level than in the original game. If I remember correctly, the thing that made this game harder, and especially even more so in the DX ROM hack, was that they just increased the levels of all the trainers, and so you just had to grind a lot more. So far, just in Viridian Forest at least, like I'm seeing a lot of level 8s and stuff, which you don't really see much of in the original. So yeah,
nice. You mentioned starters, and I just thought of this. One more Pokemon card thing.
Oh, okay.
I found a really cool card to buy just because. I go on a site called TCG Player a lot, and they sell singles and stuff, I found somebody selling a Totodile from the first Gen 2 set, which I believe was called Neo Genesis. I think it was the first Gen 2 set. And I found a first edition Totodile. So like specifically it had the little symbol that says first edition. And it was in near mint condition. So like very clean. Basically like you just pulled it out of a pack, and it was like $5 or something. Like, turns out like common cards, like starter Pokemon and stuff, are just very cheap, even at first edition. So for $5, I got a first edition Totodile just for fun.
Nice.
And it's super cute. And I'm like, that's awesome. That's just nice to have.
Hey, speaking of card games, you recently got some Ruby Weisschwartz stuff, right?
Oh, yes. I pre-ordered it still. It still hasn't come out yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I'm very excited for it.
Cool.
Have we ever talked about Weisschwartz?
Yeah. We gave kind of an intro to it at one point.
So that's like an anime card game, basically. The cards are cool, but we actually just really enjoy playing the game too. Yeah, which is nice, because it's just an interesting card game to play. I like the mechanics a lot.
So far, I only own one set, the Angel Beats set.
Yeah,
so
amazing anime. Obviously, I have a million sets, but I got a trial deck and a full booster box for Ruby. Obviously, I'm a Rooster Teeth fan, so obviously I'm gonna get the Ruby set, but I'm actually really looking forward to that. I think it's not till December, but
I think
a couple months still.
That's a series that's well suited to a trading card game.
Yeah, I think so. You should definitely get at least the trial deck for us to.
Yeah, I'd be interested in doing that.
Yeah, it's one of those games where the trial decks, which is basically a starter deck, constructed deck, whatever you want to call it. They call them trial decks. They're actually good though.
Yeah.
Like
they really are.
Really usable.
Especially
really nice.
like the Love Live one or
Love Live, Kantai Collection or Kankore. Insanely strong trial decks. Yeah. Sometimes my main deck will just be a modified trial deck. Yeah. Where I've just switched out some things, added some level 3s and stuff.
I like that it's not too complicated of a game, so
it's not Magic.
You can really play around with just like, okay, I want this many level 3s, this many level 2s, this many level 1s, and this many like climax, and this, or I guess climax.
You always have
is the
8
same,
climax.
same number. So,
but you can mess with if you want counters in there, if you want event cards in there, stuff like that. Yeah, and the ratios of the leveled cards is a big part of it, and a lot of people don't like how not complicated it is.
Yeah.
They want Magic. They want like the most complicated mechanics possible. But yeah, I like that about it.
Because I remember with
a bit more accessible
with Pokemon cards, trying to figure out the ideal number of stage 1, stage 2, and basic Pokemon,
and how many energies to put in there.
Yeah,
because you don't want to clog your deck, but you need energies too.
But,
so it's like
and like with evolutionary chains, it's like, okay, if you have one Charmander, one Charmeleon, one Charizard, and that Charmander dies, your Charizard is useless. So you want at least like 2 or 3. I usually did a little pyramid of
it's usually
3
2,
Charmander, 2 Charmeleon, 1 Charizard.
Sometimes I do 3, 2, 2, depending if it's the focus of the deck or not.
Yeah, but of course, getting cards like Charizard and Blastoise weren't necessarily super easy to do when I was a kid. So
now that's much more simple.
Yeah,
but now you have the V and the V Max cards and stuff to deal with. But
it's so crazy how big the numbers are compared to when I was a kid. Like 120 or something
damage.
Health,
that's nothing.
Health was like the max health a Pokemon could have,
and now doing 120 damage is nothing. Basically, it's very common for a stage 2 or a V card. Yeah. It's very different now. Yeah. Every V has at least 200 health.
Yeah.
If not more.
Yeah. I'm seeing cards with over 300 health, which would have been mind boggling when I was a kid compared to.
Yep. There's many V Max at least cards that have over 300 health.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, today I just pulled an Espeon V Max from the Evolving Skies.
It's a very pretty card.
Set. It's one of the only, I didn't have a single Espeon card yet, so I was really happy to pull that. Yeah, I'm trying to complete the Evolving Skies set completely. It's got amazing evolution cards. There's actually some new boxes coming out for that in December that have special alternate arts for Vaporeon, Flareon, and Jolteon that were previously only in Japan.
Oh, cool.
Still haven't come here. But they look amazing. They're like the Flareon in particular is like, she's like in front of a fireplace in like this really cozy looking home and stuff. It's so cute. Yeah. Anyway, the cards look amazing. I'm really excited about that.
Very nice.
So definitely be getting that.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm a nerd. What can I say?
Yes, that's kind of.
What can I
say? Is like the nerd podcast.
What? What? Hey, how'd you guys like the anime episode? Let us know.
Yeah,
because we've been doing this a while now.
Yeah,
we've been doing this over a year, right? We've been making the podcast, and we're gonna be branching out more and more like that, just sort of talking about whatever, just cause. I mean, we're not really running out of things to talk about for video games,
right? But
we like other things and would like to, branch out a little bit just for fun. Just for fun.
Yeah. Speaking of that, are you watching anything, anime or otherwise?
No, not watching any anime. No. I haven't watched anime since JoJo Part 5, probably.
Wow, still
was airing.
Okay.
I just haven't watched it. I'm busy watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah, well, that's why I was asking. Like, are you watching anything?
Yes, I'm watching.
Because I'm watching Warehouse 13 at the moment, so.
Sort of similar, I would say.
In some ways.
So my wife and I are watching Buffy. And now Angel, because the split off has happened. At season 4, Angel gets a spin-off show, and that's what we're in right now. So we're in season 4 of Buffy and season 1 of Angel. I've always been curious about it because when we grew up with our sister watching it.
It was just always on.
Yeah, and but I'd heard that people still liked it, and I'm like, I kind of want to try it, like just see. Because I like the supernatural lore and stuff. I like stuff like that, and it's actually awesome. So,
and we both like every show he's done.
Joss Whedon. Yeah, I mean Firefly obviously is awesome.
Yeah. The Joss Whedon Avengers movie was great.
Avengers,
I think.
yeah. He did Ultron.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think
anyway.
he did the first two.
Yeah.
He did the first one for sure.
Yeah, I think he did do both. Anyway, yeah. Despite what people say about him as a person, I definitely like his content. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know the guy, so I can't say anything.
Yeah.
No, so actually, we're legitimately loving Buffy. Speaking of blurring the two lines of what we talked about, I found Buffy card sleeves.
Oh,
just randomly.
That's
I was
awesome.
at a card shop, and they had a box it was like a Buffy deck box with sleeves. I'm like, that's amazing. So I bought that instantly. I'm like, that's awesome. No idea what kind of cards I'm going to put in that, what deck I should put in there.
Yeah.
But I was thinking like a dark type Pokemon deck would be cool in there, or some dark and psychic or something. But anyway, yeah, legitimately good show. It's cheesy, but it's actually good.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Warehouse 13 is kind of a case of the week show, but like instead of police crimes, it's
magical artifacts.
Yeah, magical artifacts causing mayhem and chaos, and the two agents of the warehouse that need to find things, and their boss Artie, who's
he's the best,
played by Saul Rubinek. He's just great.
He's fantastic.
And Claudia, who is
Josh's girlfriend from Drake and Josh.
Yeah. Mindy Crenshaw.
Mindy Crenshaw from Drake and Josh. Really?
She plays a hacker
soup
chick
with a spoon. Yes. Amazing.
She plays a cool hacker chick.
She plays the hacker, yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Speaking of hackers, from the hacker from, I think it was Italian Job, right? Seth Green was the hacker.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Anyway, he's Oz in Buffy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And he's like a main character.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's Seth Green. What the heck? What's he doing here? Just like how Willow is Lily from How I Met Your Mother. I'm like, how did I not know all these people were in Buffy?
Yeah.
They're like main characters. Seth Green's a werewolf. So that's cool.
Nice.
Anyway, it's amazing.
Yeah. And then you guys finished Avatar, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. We did finish Avatar: The Last Airbender. Yeah. Finally. It was one of those shows that was on my list forever, you know, and my wife wanted to watch it too. So, and she loves it. She's absolutely loves it, which is great.
Yeah. Cause I watched that one on my own a few
fantastic.
years ago, and then watched it with our mom.
So now she's seen it too.
2 months ago.
Yeah. It's worth the hype.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, it's a great show.
It's legitimately good and very anime-ish.
Because there are some shows where I'm like, I think this is a good kid show, but I don't think it is. I think it kind of isn't necessarily like super quality writing. But I think Avatar is
like a story,
legitimately good show.
This is a story,
and not just like a good for a kid show. It's like just a good show in general, I think.
Yeah, it's not like, I like how it's not episodic. Really, it's like really.
Yeah, it's like a serial show. Yeah, I like that.
Like you cannot miss an episode.
And I mean, there are some episodes that are kind of self-contained, but
sure,
there is at the very least an overarching story.
Very much so.
And I like
which
that.
I like. Yeah.
That's one of the things I like so much about anime is the fact that they're often so serial. That
I'm much more interested in a full story than a bunch of little stories usually.
Yeah.
Yeah. More book like.
Because I know a lot of anime and even some American shows, it's like there are 3 to 4 episode long like mini arcs all throughout, and each one of those is a like continuous story. But then the next block of 3 or 4 is fairly detached.
Contained. Yeah.
And then there are a lot of anime where it's just like every episode is literally right where the last one left off, and it's just one solid continuous story with no or very few breaks.
But typically those are always better.
Yeah.
Like
those tend to be some of my favorite series.
Like I even think of Loki, the show, which is just like a 4 or 5 hour long movie.
Yeah.
It is just the second one, the episode ends, the next one begins. Like it's just one story.
Actually, that's a good way to describe it. Is if binging the whole thing at once just feels like watching a really long movie, that's great for me.
Yes, I like that. Which is how I watched Loki. I just sat and I watched the entire thing in one sitting, and it was awesome. So I think it's a good way to do it. Yeah. Didn't you also do that with Loki?
No,
I told you to.
We saw we watched 2 at a time. I think.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
but no, that's good. What else? Isn't something coming out really soon? Oh no, they all got delayed, right? All the movies.
Oh yeah, something like
Spider-Man, Doctor Strange. I think everything got delayed.
I did finally see Shang-Chi.
Yes, you did. I actually got to watch that opening day just because I happened to. I didn't even know it was opening day when I watched it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, super good. Very good movie.
Yeah, it's like even I'm not even going to say this is one of the least good Marvel movies because I wouldn't say that, but even the least good Marvel movies tend to be pretty good.
Yeah.
At least the part that's part of this big block of MCU movies. Like, I don't know, I think Thor the Dark World and
Iron Man 2.
And Iron Man 2 are pretty low on the list for me, but they're still good movies, I think.
Exactly. I think Eternals has the possibility to be bad.
It doesn't look particularly engaging or exciting
I don't
to
know
me
why
based on the trailers.
Even.
So I
Very
might be
curious.
pleasantly surprised, but I don't have high expectations based on the trailer.
Yeah. Just based on what I've seen and know about it. Yeah. It's just this could be not great.
Yeah.
So hopefully we're pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
But
Spider-Man, on the other hand, looks like it's going to be really good.
That's going to be amazing. Yeah. I've always been a Spider-Man fan, though, so I am biased. Yeah. One more thing I wanted to bring up, completely unrelated. We're nearing the end, but I bought a game. I bought a video game.
Okay.
Blow your mind yet?
You had my curiosity, but now you have my attention.
Whoa. Let me waste it now.
Oh, okay.
I like weird games that I'm like, why is this a game? Or like cartridges. I like physical cartridges, stuff like that. I saw a random post by this person who's like a collector. You know, he's like, hey, let me tell you about this weird DS game. Okay. And he showed it off, and he's like, it's actually really well made and works really well. It's very convenient. Did not sell well at all. They showed the European and the American version of it. European is cooler in every way. And I was like, I need to look into this. And it was one of those things where it's like, this is either the cheapest thing on the planet and because no one wants it, or it's so dumb but rare that it's really expensive.
Right.
So I was very afraid. No, very cheap, thankfully.
Good.
I was like, that means I could buy it. And I found it on eBay. And not only was it the European version, which was cooler, it was in the case with everything. It said it was good condition, had everything. It was like $7. I'm like, heck yeah. Came from Goodwill in Seattle. So it came in 3 or 4 days.
Nice. Yeah.
It's called 100 Classic Books.
Okay.
And it's just ebooks for your DS. And it's got The Great Gatsby, Great Expectations, a bunch of Shakespeare,
really?
Some Sherlock Holmes, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, just literary classics.
Wow.
For your Nintendo DS. And it was so cheap. And the case it's a bigger case than usual. It's got a thick booklet about the books.
Oh, wow.
And it's so awesome. This is so random. And so I was the only thing that worried me. I was like, this is a European cartridge. Is it region locked? Because I don't know how all that works necessarily.
Right.
So I looked into it, and the 3DS is region locked. 3DS games can only be played on their regional consoles. DS games have no region lock whatsoever.
Nice. Good.
And you can play DS games of any region on a 3DS. Apparently, is from what I've seen. So yes,
no issues with PAL versus NTSC or anything? I mean, there's no TV involved, so that makes sense kind of.
No Japan, nothing.
Cool.
No. Yeah, even Japanese ones will work.
Nice.
So not only is it cool, but I can actually play it and read some books, I guess. But like you turn the DS and you can either use the stylus to flip through the pages or you can use buttons. And there's a bunch of different bookmarks that you can choose from to stick in them, to like pretend to stick into the book. It's awesome.
Dude, has April seen this?
I haven't even showed her yet.
Oh, I think she'd love that.
I want to show her.
She reads a lot.
Yeah, we're book fans and sort of collectors. We have
need to read more.
Huge bookshelves.
My dad finally got me to finish reading Red Rising. It's his favorite book right now, a book series right now, and I read it, and I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, I do typically like young adult novels like that. So.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd even necessarily call it young adult, but it is like an interesting.
I think it is technically, but
sci-fi fantasy, or I guess it's not fantasy. It's just sci-fi.
Young adult books like that are usually not very young. They're usually pretty dark and stuff.
Well, yeah.
Like The Maze Runner is young adult, and that's a messed up series. So I also really like a series called A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab.
Yeah.
That's a cool young adult, like magical fantasy. April's reading The Fellowship of the Ring again.
Yeah.
Because fall is a great time to read Tolkien.
Yeah.
We actually just bought another set of Tolkien books. We're nearing a full collection of Tolkien books.
Yeah.
So we bought, there's a whole series basically just called The History of Middle-earth. And we bought the first 5 books in that line. So it's the Lost Tales 1 and 2. There's The War of Isengard. There's History of the Ring, I think is one of them. Books like that.
And I'm sure you already have the Silmarillion.
Yes, of course.
Okay, yeah.
Silmarillion. I have two different sets of The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. I have the Unfinished Tales in 1 volume. I have 3 other sort of offshoot books that are, I forgot the names of them exactly. We have quite a few Tolkien books.
Yeah. So I have the second Red Rising book, Golden Sun. Speaking of books, so like I've got, when I was in high school, I read Shogun, which is the longest novel I've ever read. It's like 1,200 pages, so maybe even longer.
It's still one of your favorites, right?
It's a great book, I think.
Yeah. I've still never read that.
I've never read any of James's other books. I did try to read Taipan. I had a hard time getting into that.
I've heard that's good though.
Sure why. And then our friend Ben, he lent me the first and second book of I think it's just a 2-book series, Winter Birth and Blood Heir. He loaned me these books over 10 years ago. I've read the first chapter like 5 times and then just never have gotten further.
That's about how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. I have so many. I have like 7 different books that I have started and not finished.
Yep. I've been there.
Yeah.
It's hard to sit and like really. Yeah.
I've read 2 of John Green's books. I have Hank Green's book that I'm halfway through. And
speaking of John's, I really liked, the only thing I've read of John Green is Paper Towns.
Yeah.
But I really liked that.
I read that one and Turtles All the Way Down.
Nice. Yeah. Me and April both, I think we listened to it, but
yeah,
we liked Paper Towns a lot.
Yep. And I've read the Game of Thrones books, the ones that are out. The Winds of Winter will be maybe very someday. Lucky if it ever comes out.
I own those. I have not read them.
Yeah.
I have a nice set of them though.
I haven't read the first 3 books since 2007, so
nice.
It's been quite a while. I read through the whole Wheel of Time series, which was quite good, I think.
That's impressive to read all of it. So
I read about one per month while I was working at an IT job where I had a really long commute over public transit. So
you got to
had a
just
lot
do it
of reading time
sometimes.
Yeah,
that's how you got to do it. Just one a month. Just keep at it.
That's really the only thing I miss from that job is the fact that I had so much time to read.
Yeah,
which it's not that I don't have time to read. It's just that I have so many other things to do.
Yeah, that's what my wife does though. She takes public transit to work, so she always reads on the train. Nice. Nerd.
Yeah,
I would never read anything nerdy like that.
Yeah, I'm sure you wouldn't.
Speaking of, the Dune movie just came out. It's officially out, everywhere.
Yeah,
I've not seen it yet. I've heard amazing things. I absolutely love Dune, the book. I've only read the first one still. I have Dune Messiah. I have not read it yet.
Did you see the old Dune movie with Sting?
I have seen the old Dune movie with Sting, directed by David Lynch, starring Agent Cooper from Twin Peaks, which is it was a movie that was certainly inspired by the book. It is an interesting film. It's an enjoyable film. I'm gonna guess this one is more faithful to the book a little bit, but anyway, I love the Dune novel, so hoping that movie's good. Yeah, that's one of my favorite novels ever.
Yeah,
so pretty cool.
So if you guys, by the time this comes out, you guys may have noticed that we released a episode on the 1st of November in addition to the 15th.
Yeah, and we're flinging these things out.
We are hoping to continue to do that. Do 2 a month. 2
a month instead of just one.
Instead of just one, yeah.
So yay! So please listen, so we can keep doing that. Because we do want to keep making this. So.
Yep.
And we're back.
Just my work laptop decided to fall asleep, even though.
Oh, it's messed up. Even though your video's on.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's because it's on battery.
It's messed up. It's messed up.
Anyway.
Let's end it there. It's an hour.
Yeah.
It's about an hour.
So thank you, everybody, for listening.
You end the podcast. I always end the podcast.
Sure. Thanks everybody for listening. Just make sure to download if you can. Give us a download.
You're doing a great job.
Stop it. This is my outro, not yours. You be quiet.
End the episode.
No.
End it. You're holding these poor people hostage.
I am. You don't get to go anywhere
messed up.
unless you want to. I guess I don't know. I'm not.
Yeah, they could just pause it.
Yeah. Just be like, this is stupid. I'm turning.
Please download it and follow us on Twitter.
And follow us on Twitter at the Brothers G Pod.
That's right.
Anywho, thanks for listening, guys. See you later.
Goodbye.